Welcome to WMVG, the weekly Multivarious Games podcast. I'm Chris. I'm by Cody.
That was a really good intro.
Thank you. Jake. And Laura Lee for her first time appearance.
Yay!
Second, actually.
Oh,
What?
really?
Oh.
You did a group one once.
Oh, yeah, a critique. A long, long time ago.
I remember because the tornado alarm went off, like the tornado test, while you guys were doing it.
Why do I not remember this?
You weren't there,
Well then.
which is probably the main reason.
Yeah. It might be.
It was back in the deck. It was towards Hatchet crunch time, I believe.
Was it the group gets coffee?
No.
Be honest.
Was I there?
Huh?
Was I
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
It was only like my second week.
Actually, Laura Lee, weren't you on the Game Jam one too?
Oh, it's your second. All right, so this is like way earlier than I thought.
That was
I
a
don't
long
know.
time ago.
It was.
WMVG!
Anyway, episode 62 on this lovely 11/11/15.
Happy birthday, Skyrim!
I still play you.
I own you, but never have played you.
For real?
That's sad.
Whoa,
Yeah.
wait.
I
Whoa.
own it, but I've never played it.
What about the sweet rules?
I don't know what that means.
You know why? Because you haven't played it.
It's cool.
That's
Well.
did you like buy it when it came out? And then you just
Yeah.
Is it like Watch Dogs where it's still just sitting and it's wrapping?
So you remember that one time in Metal Gear Solid 5 when Big Boss had to fight Snake?
Why are you getting
Yeah.
mad at me? Hey, yo,
Yo.
retracted.
It was really sweet.
What can I do to make you stop saying those things?
Apparently, people are minefielding the internet with the ending spoiler for Fallout 4. Like, they're just sticking it in, like, random things.
Really?
People have already gotten to it?
Apparently.
That's insane.
I always liked. I don't know if we ever talked about this on the podcast, but one of my favorite pictures for the longest time was somebody says it's a comment section. It's like, can't wait for Fallout 4, and the comment underneath it was like, yeah, me too. That game's gonna be so great. And the comment underneath that is, why are you guys talking about this on PornTube? And so I'm just imagining like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. By the way, the ending of Fallout 4 is no.
I like that story.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Let's do the intro again.
Okay.
The intro again?
So this is OGD wrap-up week, right?
Yeah, this is the OGDE post-mortem.
This is the first day back from...
You can see by all of this.
Yeah, we didn't even...
And all of this.
And this is actually clean.
That's true. Yeah.
This is cleaner than it was this morning.
Yeah.
Are these all our extra lanyards and badges?
I don't
Yeah.
think these are all of our extra lanyards.
No, we've got
we have
ours.
significantly more.
I've got my Rambo bandana on. I'm ready to go.
I feel bad because I don't know what I'm going to do with them all except go in the trash
We
can.
could make a sculpture or
These
something.
are so sweet.
Like wall
Yeah.
art or
Okay.
something. Yeah.
We could save them for next year. They don't say level 3 on them.
It's true.
Are we going to use this design?
Probably not.
The VIPs are.
So anyway, it was a busy weekend,
Yeah.
but it was pretty sweet.
Did you guys have fun? You two specifically.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember. I had
you guys
fun.
were the busiest, I would say.
I don't know. Laura Lee is pretty.
Yeah,
she
she
was
was-
nose to
she
the
was
grindstone.
She's-
Yeah.
Yeah. Laura Lee, you did great this weekend.
Thanks.
You should know that.
Most
I
of
tried.
Saturday morning, I was pretty hungover, so it took me a little bit
Yeah.
to kind of get into that. But
It was cool.
I was there, donuts and coffee in hand.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a lot of fun. We got to run around like a chicken with his head cut off. But
So,
did stuff.
what was your favorite part?
My favorite part was after the Kosai Planetarium concert, where I did all the video editing for with like the game stuff. So if you weren't there, maybe we could throw up a picture or something. But anyway, yeah. So I did all the video editing and stuff, and I took like a good week to do that, and a majority of that I spent on Grant Kirkhope's set, who was kind of our main speaker of this year, and so they did a medley of his music, and then I put video game footage and all that kind of fun stuff to it. And one of the ones that I was really proud of and that I was really excited to see on the planetarium was I think it was the main theme from Civilization Beyond Earth. Mm-hmm. And so I found the intro trailer and I cut that in like pretty good, like just decent ways to make it interesting. And so, we watched it and it was awesome. And it was everything I wanted on the planetarium. But after the after the concert, Grant actually like walked up to me like as soon as I walked out. He's just like, Cody, that was incredible. The Civilization part gave me chills. I was like, I gave the composer chills. Like, yes.
Dude, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
So that was my highlight. So a lot of them have to do with Grant Kirkhope because we did some cool stuff. But yeah, that was cool. And then the Friday beforehand, he was in and he just texted Chris and he's like, hey, let's go get beers. So you, me, Tina, Kate, and John, and then our photographer Sam all went out with Grant Kirkhope the night before and grabbed a beer and chatted for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
So
because he got in late. Cool. He was supposed to get in much earlier, but he ended up getting in at 10:30. And so I thought he wasn't going to make it to the kickoff party, obviously. So I thought he was probably just going to go home and go to bed. But, I kind of forgot that he's 3 hours behind. So he was ready to roll at 10:30. He was like, let's do this thing. Plus, he hadn't been setting up an expo the entire day.
Yeah.
So we met him at the hotel, Ubered it to Denmark, and then hung out.
It was a long Uber trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
all the way to Denmark.
Yeah.
And across a couple oceans.
Yeah. That was good, Cody.
Literally, I like that you're on this podcast. I have somebody that doesn't just sigh at all of my jokes.
Yeah.
She's doing it internally.
I'll just be your laugh track.
Your polite laugh track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it not like Grant's awesome? Like he was just a great guy, but like that first interaction you meet with him when he starts talking is like a shotgun blast to the face. He just like got this heavy British accent, talks like a million words a minute, and I'm just like, whoa. Like I had to kind of learn how to, like, not only am I trying to learn the cadence and he uses a lot of slang, but it's just like, I'm like, I think I'm a native English speaker, but I'm not quite sure.
That happened to me too, except I can't hear very well. So I was like, oh no.
Oh, no.
I'm just like, I'm going to just be one of these, like, just leaning towards him and a lot of, yeah.
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 Yeah, he was a lot of fun. That night at Denmark, I think, was a good. So I enjoyed the kickoff party tremendously. And had I known that I was going to meet Grant Kirkhope later, I probably would not have imbibed as many beverages as I did at the kickoff party. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have to drive anywhere, so all right. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Cool. So that was your favorite? Yeah,
it was. So the concert part was my favorite, but a very close second was just kind of chilling afterwards.
Were you with me when he was talking about So he comes out and he was like super excited and asking me, what did he think? He was like, it was amazing. He's like, he's used to seeing those songs in concert with the games or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he's like, he's never seen them all displayed like that. And that's like, he's like, this is my life in a like, that was his life.
20 minutes.
That's his career. That's his career over his entire life, like brought to that, 25-minute segment or whatever. And that was really cool. And I'm super glad he enjoyed it. I think everybody was like, the Super Guitar Bros were nervous when they played.
Oh yeah, they were really, really wary to play one of his songs in front of the composer. They're like, this is a first.
Yeah,
they did a good job though.
My personal favorite thing with the Super Guitar Bros was that they were playing, and on their last song, which is Zelda, they started to play, and then they messed up, and then they were going to restart it, and then they looked up and the video was already playing, and they're like, "Oh God, it's playing! Let's go!" It was the best.
That was awesome.
Yeah, but it was really cool.
The concert was real good.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just imagine how cool. So this is insider baseball for those who attended the concert or whatever, but it's part of what this podcast does, behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. But like originally, we had planned to show that segment at like a half dome. So it would be like totally full, that half, and then the back, so there's an overlay that goes over it. So if you imagine the entire dome, it would go up halfway. And then the back half would be this like music, what do you call that? Like the responsive music
like
animations or what? Yeah, visualizations. Yeah. And then the front would have that kind of overlaid a little bit on top of it as well. Mm-hmm. But apparently the computer for the planetarium just couldn't keep up with what we were trying to do. And what would happen is because there's like 8 GPUs and multiple projectors that have to cover that whole dome. And if you did it as large as we wanted it to do, then you would have segments of the screen that would just slowly become desynced. So you would have like quadrants of the video that would be moving at different rates than other quadrants. And it would get exponentially worse over time. Wow. And I guess, so Ty's the planetarium organizer / tech, and he was like, I was on the phone with the company that made the planetarium equipment for a week trying to figure out like, how do we do this? And he's just like, we broke the planetarium. Like what we were attempting to do was beyond the scope of this massive, extremely expensive tech.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Is it because it's like sort of a responsive thing, like versus like we're just running?
Yeah, it couldn't. It could do. So that was the choice we had to make: is half dome with like the stars or something that were on the Super Guitars Bros set, which I really liked because that faded into a black, nice. Or the two things with the responsive overlay. Yeah. It couldn't handle both the dome and the responsive overlay at the same time. So we went with the two things and the responsive overlay. But the third factor involved in that decision was that at such a large scale, a lot of the video looked like absolute garbage because there's no HD GoldenEye.
Yeah, there's no HD Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
Because there is an HD GoldenEye, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, no. Anyway, there's a lot of that stuff was just like unwatchable. It was just an unwatchable mess of polygons flying everywhere.
Yeah. All of the polygons.
Where
did they come from?
But yeah, that's the insider track on the planetarium. Laura Lee, what was your favorite part?
Well, I spent the majority of the time up front
checking people in.
But I will say that it was really nice seeing how excited and just enthusiastic everybody was about coming in. And even though there were moments where behind the scenes it was a little bit chaotic, especially in the beginning. We had some internet issues, but everybody was so polite. And then once we started to get people to come in, they really worked with us and were happy to just go in. And that was really nice. And then also at some point I saw, and you're going to have to remind me the name, when we went to CCAD, the instructor.
Sherry,
yes, Sherry.
Why him?
I was there and I spoke to her again.
I'm terrible at names, but she saw me at some point. I saw her throughout the expo, and I was just really excited that she remembered who I was.
Yeah, she walked up to me and she's like, "Hey, Cody," and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" Yeah. And I guess she brought like one of the other teachers or one of the other adjuncts at CCAD.
Yeah.
Nathan was there.
Who?
Didn't Nathan cover?
Nathan was brother. Yeah.
There was somebody that Sherry was walking around with. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they didn't go as like the booth. They just
we went to the
I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, that was the first time I've ever met Nathan.
Really?
Yeah, I've never met Nathan before then. Mm-hmm. So I walked up.
Big overlap between when they were around.
I walked up to, he was playing somebody else's booth, and I wanted to walk over to them because I think they were a sponsor. I think it was OC Games. So I kind of walked over and introduced myself and chatted for a second. He's like, "Oh, so you're that Cody?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, I'm Nathan." And I'm like,
"Sure you are. That's great."
Wait a minute. I was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "You kind of look like Wes." And of course, Wes is at our booth. So the CCAD booth and our booth was super close. So I'm like looking over and I was like, "You're Wes's brother." And he's like, "Yeah."
It's just like he's there, and Wes is. You're like the Terminator, like. Yeah, like Will and his brother.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, was that Will's brother?
Yes.
He never actually said that it was his brother, and I was like, I think they're related, but I don't want to say anything.
Okay, so
I've met him 3 times, and the first time honest to God, I thought it was Will.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I walked up and had a conversation with. So Will's brother's name's Matt, and we did like a birthday thing for Will, like 2 or 3. It was about 2 months ago, maybe. But we went to Kingmakers, and so Will ran to the bathroom, and Matt was looking at the games, and I walked up to Matt, and I was like, "Hey, so what's going on, buddy? It's been so long since I've seen you." And I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on."
Were their haircuts similar?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they literally, the only difference was that Matt was wearing glasses.
Yep.
So then I looked at him and I was like, wait a minute, you're not Will. He's like, hey.
I'm pretty sure I went up and put like my hand like in a very friendly way on like his brother's shoulder. Because there was some dude who like, I thought it was real. It was kind of like, God, I'm going to have to follow up on that.
Yeah,
awesome.
that was Will's brother, Matt. So
Siblings, one convention at a time.
Tina and I were walking through the convention hall on Saturday, I think.
yeah, that's the only day that I
And
was there.
I was like, I got a lot of things going on, and we were walking and chatting, and we were talking about just a couple like relatively minor things that we needed to take care of, and then somebody distracted me, and then I turned back around to like grab Tina, and I almost grabbed this complete random girl and gave her it was like I was literally about to grab her and give her a kiss on the head, but Tina had like left like 10 seconds before that.
That would have been so
And I was like, it wasn't like,
ways
like,
to say
oh,
that. You
I
just
was
go
like
like,
right
Welcome
here.
to the expo.
Yeah,
And then just run away.
I was real close, real
Then
close.
you just grab the next person.
Yeah.
My better question
Welcome to the
is,
expo.
Chris's kisses.
what was her reaction?
She didn't notice. She was looking the other way at a booth. But that was like, yeah, that could have made a whole new headline
That's
for
sort
the
of like what I
OGD.
overheard of Michael referring to like when you accidentally call the teacher mom or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Or when you think somebody else when you're like a little kid, somebody else in a store or something is your mom and you like tug on her.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You're like, uh-oh.
yeah. Sounds good.
That's funny.
That was nice.
But yeah, that one girl, that girl and the guy came
Yeah.
in, and I don't know how old you think they were, young 20s, maybe late teens?
I honestly think they might have been high school age.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So they came in and they were a little like shy, and like I think Tina was sitting there, and Lorelei was like, "Oh, you can come in." They're like, "Is it free?" And like, "Yeah, just come on in and check it out." And they have no idea. They're there for COSI, right? They have no idea what this is. They just see a sign that says Ohio Game Developer Expo or whatever. And they walk, and so the registration booth's here. She walks around the corner, and her face just goes like,
Oh, great.
and she was just super excited. And didn't she ask for a pass later? She wanted a pass to take as a keepsake home.
Yeah. Yeah, she squealed a little bit. It was fun.
Yeah.
She's watching this now like,
And actually,
damn it.
I told when I thanked Brad from Rockstar Passes for helping us out, I told him that story, and he said that he printed the email off and stuck it on their company board.
Hell yeah.
So
That's great.
That's awesome.
yeah,
They did such a good job.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's look at that.
Do you want some more, Jake? Because we have some.
Look at that right there. That's a pass.
We can sell them on
It is.
eBay.
OGD land. Yeah.
It looks great. Like,
Let's hold on to them for
background.
10 years.
I think this is a good size too. We were deciding between
I'm
several
so happy we went
sizes.
with that instead of the large.
Now I'm looking at this. I should mention too that if you attended the expo and you have any like awesome photos to share, go to capstory.me/OGDE and you can upload them, and we'll be parsing through them and sharing cool ones on our Facebook and stuff.
I'm gonna forget to put it down here.
You are. Jake, what was yours?
Oh man, I don't know. I think it's kind of like Laura Lee's, how it was more of a kind of a theme of things, of seeing people really enjoy it. I was running around a lot, just checking with people to see if everything was going okay. And when I was talking with exhibitors, they were speaking super highly of the experience, in the middle of it.
We've gotten some nice feedback so far.
Yeah.
So it was just, everybody seemed to really be enjoying it. And, had nothing but nice things to say. And it was also like getting to talk with people that I, almost hadn't seen in a year since the previous one. I completely forgot the Super Guitar Heroes.
Yeah.
Guitar Bros.
Yeah.
Super guitar heroes.
Guys, I have an idea for a game.
We could put it on.
No, but
Holy crap!
one of the
Do you
Super
think they
Guitar
care if I
Bros,
do
whose
it?
name I don't know if I ever got again.
Sam and Steve.
It was the guy with the shorter hair.
Sam.
Sam.
Right, so Sam. Sorry, Sam. It was really funny. It was during the the mixer on Saturday night, and I was sitting on one of the benches, and I had my legs out in front of me, and like sort of obstructing where this guy was walking. He's like, "Hey, get your feet out of the way!" Like he did it in a very convincing way. Where I was sitting with Wade, and after he passed, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then after he passed, I said to Wade, "I'm like, don't know that guy."
Yeah.
Like, and then later, I was like, "Oh man, it was him!" Like, and because he and I had talked for like quite a while last year.
Yeah.
And then he was saying to me after their concert, he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I remember like Homeboy does not remember me from a year ago." I was like, "Oh, sorry, dude."
Yeah. Steve didn't remember me at first because Tina and I on Saturday were going to go get food at the cafeteria, and we were standing at the elevator, and the elevator doors open, and he's right there. I was like, "Oh, hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I was like, in my mind, like, you don't remember who I am. Eventually, he picked it up as we were talking, but yeah, I just don't think he was like expecting to like, you know how you kind of get in an elevator and you just zone out for a minute, and then the door opens and you kind of do your thing. I'm sure he wasn't expecting like me to be like right there.
You're just right there, like,
"Hey, hi, how's your mother?"
We've been waiting.
where have you been, mister?
What are you selling?
Yeah, it's a funny dynamic of like you spend a really intense short amount of time with people working on something, and then don't see each other for like a year.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't know, it's like going back to camp or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the analogy would be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I feel bad because I forget a lot of people's names. And mostly it's because it's like just and so I keep saying this every year and I never do it. But I need to just block out time where I can go and talk to each booth. And
Yeah, did
play
you
their
not get
game.
to do that this year?
I played like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I played Code Medicine's game because I promised them. I watched somebody play The Pedestrian, and I think that was it.
The Skokums game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that game.
That game was cool.
Yeah, I was talking to him, and I was feel bad too. So the first thing I do is like I sit down because I'm super excited to play this game, and I told him I play it. I sit down and I play it, and like 10 seconds into it, I'm giving him constructive critiques. And after like 20 seconds of talking, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, he doesn't give a shit what I have to say. He doesn't care. So I just sort of stopped. But then he was like receptive to feedback. He actually wanted feedback.
Yeah.
But just like I could see how it like I just sit down, I'm like, all right, let's do this thing, and then just start like giving it. Because I think the game's really cool. I think the problem with the game is that it's got 2 divergent like feelings going on. Like you've got have you seen it? It's the one with the bathroom sign character that's like running around these things. It's really cool, and it's done in Unity, where like they developed like this whole scene.
Oh, I think I have.
You go from like sign to sign, and it's a puzzle
I
game.
think I've seen it. Is it kind of black and white predominantly?
Yeah, it's black and white signs
But the characters are colored.
against like a 3D realized world. So you're like moving around in this world.
It's like yellow and black, isn't it? Because it's like a. Oh no! It was black and white, but no, the characters aren't colored. So like you're playing like the bathroom guy.
No, I understand. I just
Yeah.
thought I saw different colors.
There are different
Yeah,
colors.
there are
in the
different
background.
colors,
So
and
it's
there's
like you're
different
on a
color
sign.
lights on certain things
Okay.
because it's in a 3D scene with different lights. But I thought it was a really cool game, and it's super well done. Like
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic a lot. The graphics look good. I just think, and this is what I told him, I think their key issue is that what you do is you run with the little guy, so it has like a pretty good like clip to it. You're moving and you're moving and you're moving and you're jumping and you're dancing, and then you stop because you have to solve a puzzle, and you have to put the signs in the appropriate order, and then once you have it, you press play, then you're moving again. So it's just this weird like,
Stop and start. Yeah.
and it's 2 different play styles. So it's almost like, I don't know how to solve it. I'd have to think about it. And maybe it's not even something that needs to be solved. Like,
But it was something that stood out to you.
yeah, it just stood out to me because I was like totally getting in the zone, and then I would stop to have to like figure out this puzzle and be like, okay, I got it.
I totally know that concept though that you're talking about, where like sometimes like somebody's showing me something like their art or something like that, and
Yeah.
I forget that sometimes I have not been explicitly asked my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so used to being presented things where my opinion is being solicited. So, for instance, like, I'm just going to wind down and say, like, you know what you could do?
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's everybody's got a friggin' opinion,
Sure.
and I try not to give mine unless asked. But for some reason, I just kind of. I think it was because I was real caught up and like attracted to the game, and so
that's when I have the most to say about.
Yeah, noticing things.
I dig it.
But yeah, it's super. I think it's got. I don't know. It just seemed real well done.
Yeah, I was really impressed because it was a 3-person team based out of Waldo, which is pretty awesome.
Waldo?
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's like 45 minutes
Where's
north
Waldo?
of here.
God, the second I said that, I was like waiting for Cody's head to just explode with.
Oh
jokes.
no, don't worry about it. It
Don't
was.
worry about it, he's over there.
It's relatively close.
we found him.
There he goes.
Little do you guys know, we actually have Waldo, the cameraman, back there.
What's up, W?
What's up, man? Yeah, but when they submitted their application, I was like, hey, I actually know where that is. So my introduction to them guys was I was just talking.
When Cody used word letters.
Our used word. I walked over there and I was like, hey, it's you guys. I know where Waldo is, and not because of GNR. And they're just like, thank you.
I drive by Waldo every time I go to the lake.
Yeah.
That's the exit I get off at.
Got it.
The Waldo exit?
Huh? Towards Bucyrus?
Okay, yeah. Because so there's a town called Marion that's just north of Waldo, and the way how you get there from where I lived is you take 23. And when you're on 23, you pass Waldo. And so...
Riveting
Yeah, this is the riveting video
this
game
is
podcast.
Good, but they're known
Our
because...
listeners will
was
come
like,
to
that looks
expect.
gonna come any minute.
Don't worry.
That's cool though.
So what about that Route 23?
That Route 23. But anyway, Waldo is known for having a tavern that makes really good fried bologna sandwiches. And so that's how, if somebody knows Waldo, that's why. And so I made a point to introduce myself. Say, hi, I know you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
But their game's cool.
On another note, that I feel is a game that, like, because we watched the video during when we were going through all the applications. And
Yeah, the war room times.
But I don't think that game translates as well on video as it did when you're sitting there playing it. Like when you're sitting there playing it, like it was a whole, I don't know, I just felt like it was a really solid sort of experience. Mm-hmm. Not that the video wasn't per se, but just how some things don't translate right between
I remember
video
that
and
with Dangerous, where it was actually fun to play once we got it to that certain point, but it still looked like a butt. Like,
yeah, sure did.
And it was just like in the video, it was just like, oh, it's like actually like really, really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, if Unity existed in the way we needed it to, like now, then, I don't think we've had any problems, but we had to reverse engineer like everything to do what we wanted it to do. Good times.
What other booths did we like at the expo?
Did you get a chance to see anything, Laurie?
I didn't really. I mean, I looked at a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to commend Smiling Cat because
Yes,
they were
thank
so prepared.
Yeah, every year they show up since year one.
Yeah.
I think year one, they were the only booth with like pipe and drape set up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Because I remember, because in the first year we gave them 6-foot table. They had a 6x6 space to work with, and he sent me an email because he's like, I have a 10x10 booth set up. And I remember thinking then, I was like, God, that's big. How are we gonna fit that in there? And now that's the requirement.
No, I think the only other one was maybe Game U, but I don't think they did. First year.
They had like a tablecloth.
No, yeah, they
Okay.
did. Yeah, they did tablecloth and stuff.
But yeah, no, like they've always come correct.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not only a booth, but they have like all their props, like their junk bottles and cans.
Yeah.
and
I was
stuff.
just so impressed by their display in general.
Yeah, I saw it. So I came in late on load-in, but I saw their booth after they set it up and everything, and they were gone. And so I walked up. I saw him like kind of walking to his booth on Saturday, and I walked up. And I was like, "Your booth is amazing!" He's like, "Thanks."
Thanks, you crazy person.
It's like as I'm like walking by him, like just like running from point A to point B to get something done. I was like, "Your booth is awesome!" It's like, "Thanks, Cody."
And I say this all the time. I say this in COG, and Brian, if you're listening, which you're not, but if
Duke.
you are, Duke. I always call him Brian. Duke. He wants to be called Duke. Anyway,
Does he want to be called Duke?
he is. Yeah, that's how he goes by. I think most of the time. But he is like since day one of the expo. He's been like the first one in, the first one to send a sponsorship check. Like as soon as like we released the first initial bouts of information for the expo, he's got like a check ready to roll.
Duke,
and he's been doing it since year one.
You're the best.
Yeah.
I feel that way a lot with Cog too. Of just his presence has always been.
Oh sure.
Yeah. He hasn't been there recently though, so it was nice to just see him. OGD. He hadn't been to the last couple of ones. I was like, I missed you.
Maybe he was preparing.
He might have been.
Yeah.
I'd be really curious, like, not that it matters, because I think the experience is more than just selling your product. But I'd be curious, like, what the, like, of all the exhibitors there, what the increase in sales for their games is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
what the
how many
OGDE
additional
bump
games,
is.
did OGDE sell because of this event?
It's almost like we should send out a survey asking these questions.
Yeah. I mean, I could just send it like, you know, did you notice an increase, if you have a product on the market, did you notice an increase in any sales due to the expo?
Yeah, I think that'd be good to know. Just if if there's a discrepancy in the percentage bump for other people, is like, okay, well, what kind of booth did they have, or like where were they placed?
Yeah.
Like how engaged were they with people, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that would definitely lend to some of our marketing conversations we have to have. Like, are there things that we can do promotionally to benefit the exhibitors?
Yeah.
You know? Other than just bringing people there, like, are there things we can do outside of that?
Yeah. So speaking of bump in sales due to the expo,
Just a little bump in sales.
just a little. Let's talk about thumb gloves for a second. If we're just gonna go on talking about all these booths, so I gotta give props to these guys. So Thumb Gloves Pro
Oh, yes.
is it was a booth who the owner reached out to me and he's like, hey, like I wanna come to your expo, I wanna be there. Like
I like how in Cody's mind, like
Everybody's
in the
like,
stores, everyone's just yelling at him.
everyone's
Everyone's yelling
screaming.
at him all the time.
Yeah, kind of. Like I noticed that. Like when
Are
I
you,
write
are you
an
like
email,
asleep? You're like, no, thumb gloves, no.
I think he's just hearing one voice yelling at him when he's asleep.
Yeah.
Well,
It's my inner demons.
you'll have that.
Moving on. But yeah, he reached out to me. He's like, we need to get, I want my product there. Like, I want a booth there. Like, let's do this thing. So finally, Chris and I, like, made space for him on our already, like, packed out floor plan. Because we were just like, we want to get this guy in. Let's get this guy. So he comes in, he's super excited, ready to go, ready to roll. By Saturday, he sold out of his daily stock. And on Sunday, he sold out of everything.
Wow.
Like, he
Wow.
sold through, I think he had, like, 4 products left by the time he left. Like, he sold through everything.
That's great.
And just had a
How
great
much
time.
how much is like a normal thumb glove package? Like $20?
I think a
$10?
normal thumb glove packet was, I think he was selling them for 30. Like, they're typically 50, and he was selling them for, like, 30.
Wow.
And sold out of his entire stock. Like, is super excited to just come back next year. Like, luckily... So I kept on meaning to talk to him. And so, like, I would see him, I'd chat at his booth, and then I'd have to run away for some reason. And then I'd try to come back, and then I'd have to run away. Yeah.
Usually werewolves.
Yeah.
Typically. But by the end, I finally got a chance to, like, sit down and talk with him. And, like, I brought him over to Chris because Chris wanted to meet him, too. And, like, he was just a super cool guy.
Bobby.
Bobby. He was super excited that, like, the expo was as awesome as it was. He's just like, I just came from Daytona and I didn't sell nearly as many as I did here. Like, I sold out and this is great and I'm coming back next year. And so it was just really awesome how he had like a 4-day turnaround from getting in, getting payment and going. And he was able to kind of come to OGDE and sell out of his entire like stuff that he had. So that was a cool story.
Yeah, good on
she was
him.
OGDE.
That's awesome.
So I was happy about that one.
Laura Lee, did you go to any sessions?
I did. I went to the Grant Kirkhope
Waited in line
music.
for 4 hours.
I waited in line for an hour. I did.
Did you? You didn't pull rank with your staff badge?
What? I didn't feel like I should have.
that's
But
good.
actually, everybody got in. Like, they packed the room. People sat on the stairs. People were like hanging out
Everyone
in
got
the
in
doorway.
because we may have violated fire code.
Well, that's true.
I wonder what that part of the podcast is just.
I was sitting next to Grant and I saw people streaming through, and Tina was at the door, and then it's starting to fill, and I was like, Tina, I think you need to like hold them for a second to make sure we have enough room. And she's like, I forget exactly what she said. She's like, no, I think it's good. I talked to Kosai about something. And I was like, she said, yo, you can have people sit in the stairs, or I was like, sounds good to me.
I
that could have been total nonsense. Like,
no, I actually talked to the Kosai tech before then, and they were just kind of like, whatever. Like, we have this amount of seats, but you guys get I think his exact words were like, you can pack them shoulder to shoulder if you need to. Like, he's like, it's fine. We're like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that room can actually, so there's 193 seats, but I think the room occupancy is actually 200 and something. 240 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. That's one of the things I worry about is inviting people to come all this way and give these talks, like prepare these talks, and then they're in a room with like 8 people. Yeah. Not that the 8 people won't really enjoy it. I mean, I've given talks in rooms that were
just the perception of it not being
worth their time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And props to our attendees, because I'm pretty sure we didn't have a single panel like that.
Yeah, like I don't think we did.
I'm pretty sure all of them were.
But I kind of, since I was busy and we had some of the power issues in the morning on Saturday and stuff, I really wasn't seeing what people were doing as far as sessions. Mm-hmm. And the first time I saw it is DB came and hit me up, and she's like, hey, where's the City View room? I was like, oh, I'll take you down there. And we were just chatting while we were walking down the hallway and walked down the stairs. We walked into City View, and there were like 50 people in there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and it was for the audio mini mentorship.
Yeah.
Like, it's just people, but there were a bazillion people there, and I thought it was really cool. And then, after that, it seemed like every session I was in, we have photos of numerous sessions where people are sitting on the ground or just standing against the wall or whatever. So
I had a very similar situation with DB where it was for Fight Club, and she thought that all the people in there were for the audio replacement. She's like, where's Fight Club at? And I was like, oh, it's actually down in City View. And she like brought her bags up and everything from there. Like, she just came from there. She's like, I just brought us all this up here. And I was like, okay, well, go do your thing, go run off and whatever. I'll go bring your bag back down and I'll wait for you to come back. And so I'm walking back down with DB's bag, and there's all these people, and I'm just like, Fight Club? And they all are just like, Fight Club! And I'm like,
wait, did I just start Fight Club?
How many people do you think there were?
I think I counted like 25.
Okay, because we were going to cap it at 20, but
it worked out well.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I counted like 25, 26, because I had the same immediate things. I was like, I know she likes to do smaller ones on this, and I just counted all through them.
Yeah.
And it was like 22 or 26 is ringing a bell.
Cool.
But
That's
good.
It
was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It's good. So you went to Grant Kirkhope's?
Grant Kirkhope. I also did the Women in Gaming, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm. How was that?
I think a lot of the things talked about in there were really relevant, and they had a lot of good things to say. I do think that it may have been kind of one-sided towards the like doom and gloom portion of it. I think that there obviously there is some really bad stuff going on with women not being represented enough, but at the same time it's getting better and there's a lot of good things happening. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the most troubling things was one of the questions asked.
Was this the last question?
Yeah, one of the questions asked mentioning how OGDE didn't feature enough women speakers, and I just thought that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate that person chose to ask that question in that way, where instead of wondering about it, this person had already decided for themselves that was the case.
Yeah.
Which just simply isn't true.
Yeah.
Sure.
The question started with, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And then went on.
Yeah, and I think they mentioned that it was one of the least filled panels, which actually wasn't true.
Right. Immediately was countered by the moderator. She's like, the legal one was a little less attended.
Yeah.
And
it seemed like there were a lot of people in there.
There were a lot of people in there.
Yeah, it struck me as however, it was unfortunate because it was a question that I don't know was being asked as much for an answer as it was
to make a statement.
Yeah.
Which is, those happen.
Yeah.
But on kind of a reflection of our panel, so I actually walked in to the Women in Gaming because I had the streaming panel was right after that, and I was the moderator for that one. So I walked into the Women in Gaming about 10 minutes early. I wanted to sit in on that anyway, and I was going to finish up kind of like I was making final adjustments on the PowerPoint for the next one. And so I went up into the AV booth because I feel like typically if I go to sit in on a talk, I didn't actually get to sit down and watch any talks unless if I was in them. But what I would do is I'd try to sneak into the AV booth and just kind of sit up there and chat with the COSI tech for a while. And just kind of watch it from there. And so I snuck up in there. I was working on my computer, and that's when they asked that question. It was like as I got into the booth, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Well,
and immediately
I knew that question was going to come.
Yeah.
I knew. I was hoping. So there's a lot of things going on. First of all, whenever you make a panel entitled "Women in Gaming," like that's going to be a hot topic. Like that's just how it is. And I'm hoping that, and I'm always hopeful, and the moderator's job is to kind of create this, is that whenever you have those kind of topics, you need to be having sort of a academic conversation about it. Like you need to be able to say, I hate using the term safe space because it's got a lot of connotations now, but you have to be willing to address topics with a less, I guess, voracious attitude and bring things up and be able to look at differences of opinions and kind of, build things on top of each other.
And I actually think for the most part, the entirety of the panel was mostly like that.
Okay,
there were times where it got a little more like angry and violent in one direction or the other, but for the most part, people were everyone speaking was very academic about it.
Cool, and it's hard too because like there are definite problems with not that there aren't problems with women in game development, but there are without a doubt issues with gamer culture and its relation to women. Like that is
absolutely
like that is like a cesspool of juvenile idiots.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think that if you can have a good conversation about those things. And I didn't watch the panel. I haven't watched the video yet or anything. I'm excited to watch it. But I was having to do a few things, one of which was prepping Cody's cool gift that we'll talk about later. But I'm glad that it went well. And I think that every panel, every session we try to do at OGDE is geared towards being optimistic and constructive. And I don't want to, and I told Suzanne this, we've talked about this many times. I was like, I don't want to create a panel that's just going to be an hour and 15 minutes bitch fest. That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't get anybody anywhere. And the other thing I recommended to Suzanne, so she was the moderator, and the way OGDE works is like, you apply if you want to do a speaking session or whatever, and we kind of okay you or not, and then we'll generally go over your slides and stuff to make sure like you're actually doing what you say you're going to do and that the slides are okay. But other than that, like it's your session. You do what you want in there. So I never told Suzanne to ask certain questions. I never told her to handle any topics. The only thing I suggested was that for this panel to maybe make sure that you veer it towards indie game development, because I think the environment for indie game development is much different than for the industry.
And that was brought up in the panel too. There were two mentions of it, how there were people who worked in game development environments where there was not really sexism because there were so many women that worked alongside the men. Like it just wasn't a thing for them. And a lot of the issues that were mentioned were in like a lot of the larger companies where it's just
where you start getting like systemic issues, and then that's also where the numbers game really comes into play. Like when you've got a company of 300 people and you've only got 30 or 40 women, like you can see that. We've got a company of like 3 people and 1 or 2 of them are women. Like, just adding one more person in the mix like drastically shifts the proportions.
When you have a company of 5 and 2 of which are women, you get a pretty good mix.
Yeah,
you get some great workers and some good friends.
But I think like with the indie developers being relatively
talking about you.
Oh, gling. Can we put some like overlay on her somewhere?
I will forget, but yes.
But yeah, when you have small teams, you kind of have to band together regardless of sex or age or whatever, because that's your team. That's what you got. You got to try to work. But I'm glad that went well. I put it in Suzanne's hands, and it's just like, have at it. The streaming one was after that. I heard that one went pretty well.
Yeah, I had fun with it. It was so. I let that one be a little bit more relaxed because 3 out of our 4 panelists were in the Women in Gaming panel. And so, they hadn't eaten all day and all that, so we were eating sandwiches.
And that was probably a hard transition to go from something so like deep and like.
Yeah, well, they really enjoyed it. I know. I don't know how Katie did on the Women in Gaming panel, but when I walked in, because I had to take care of a couple things between the Women in Gaming panel and the streaming panel. So when I walked in there, I heard Katie just go, "Finally, I'm in my environment." And she leaned back and she's like, she's like, "I'm in my environment now. Let's do this thing." And then she did great in the stream panel. But I thought it went well. It was a little bit more
Craig
relaxed.
was in that too, right?
Yeah, Craig from the Able Gamer. So I was moderating. We had Mint, who is a streamer and a game developer, and then Katie, and then Craig, and then Jess Brohard. And it was a good one. So it was a good way to end the expo. I thought had fun.
Cool.
And it was nice. So got a nice round of applause at the end.
Good. So speaking of rounds of applause and things like that, you were mentioning towards the end of the.
Yeah. So towards the end of it, and it was like trying to get you out of that panel into the stage, because I told Adam, because remember when Adam did his Extra Life Awards last year, they went well past 5. So I was like, Adam, you have to start at 4 and you need to be done by 5. No fucking around. And then he kept doing his prizes and he was starting to run out of prizes, and you were nowhere to be seen. And so I go up to Adam, he's on stage, I was like, I know I told you to hurry it up, but can you slow down a little bit? And so he started doing stuff like, oh, I'm gonna grab a ticket. No, I don't want to do a ticket. just little stuff like that to eat up time.
Oh, Adam, I love you.
Adam, you're the best.
And it's just he ate up as much time as he could, and you still weren't there.
You told me to run it up until 4:45.
Yeah.
I ended it 7 minutes early. And then I packed up my shit and got out of there.
But we were trying to get you out of there, and I told Sam, the photographer, I was like, if he is not here at 4:45, you need to go back there and do whatever you can, lie through your teeth to get him up here. And then we finished the prizes, and he still wasn't there. So Adam's like, oh yeah, let's do a group picture. And I was like, 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we're going to do a group picture. So I managed to find enough time.
I was wondering why that, everyone was just standing around not doing anything. I couldn't figure out.
Yeah, so I told them to wait 5 minutes. And actually, it ended up with a great picture. We have a really good one. We'll
I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to.
It's right here.
But he ended up...
Oh, look.
But he ended up being
so
there.
Cute in this picture.
Oh, nice.
And I got a present from Harmonix. So Harmonix really wanted to be at the show, and we tried to make it work. I think a combination between just not enough time and they didn't have the staffing.
Because Rock Band just came out?
Yeah, to come. But they did send 2 guitars, autographed guitars, and you have Rock Band 4 for Xbox One. So I bestowed upon him in front of everybody a guitar.
Yes. So I felt bad because I feel like people were
Don't play with your chords.
I like playing with the chords.
No, don't play with the sound chords.
People were kind of hoping. Laura Lee said, "I was hoping you would cry."
I was.
You were on the verge.
I was.
The most feels I felt like I had seen Cody experience.
I was in a moment. See, I felt bad. I felt like it should have been more because I was in a state of sleep deprivation because I was on 7 hours of sleep for the whole weekend. Exhaustion because on that 7 hours of sleep I ran around constantly, and then shocked that was happening to start with. But I will admit, when I got home, I opened it up and I started putting it together, and I did tear up a bit. So I appreciate it.
Oh, that's great.
It was awesome. I was just sitting there. I was like, this weekend took a toll. was like, wait, I got that guitar, and I like opened it up, and I was like, this is the best. Like this is crazy.
So yeah, Harmonix took and I was worried too because she, this was on Monday of that week. She said that maybe it was Tuesday, but she said she was going to get the guitar and get it signed by everybody and then ship it to us by Thursday. And on Thursday, she emails me because I hadn't heard anything. And she's like, it took longer to get the guitar shipped. I'm totally sorry, but we're going to overnight it to you. And I had him overnight it to my apartment so it wouldn't come here. So he wouldn't see like Harmonix on a box and be like, what did Harmonix do? I'm like, I don't know. But so I had him ship it to the house and then got it there. So I thought that was really nice of Harmonix.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Thank
I loved
you.
seeing that whole thing. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So, didn't you say they signed 2?
Yeah.
What happened to the second
I
one?
may have taken that one.
Yeah, I picked about that too.
It's very sly with
I'm
it.
like, oh, maybe we just donated that one.
They sent one Xbox and one PS4. So he's got Xbox One, and then the office has the PS4 one.
It's currently in Chris's office.
Yeah.
That could be such great wall art.
Yeah, I don't actually want to use it. I think I'll put it together and hang it up somewhere in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, that's what I was playing. Somebody was like, I can't believe you're not going to use that guitar or something like that. And I was like, there's signatures on the frets and there are signatures on the like strum bar. I couldn't use that guitar if I wanted to. Like, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to hang it up. I'm either going to put it in like a display box or, to be more realistic, because I'm broke as shit, I'm going to go buy a guitar hanger and I'm going to go hang it on a wall.
Yeah. So I think
That's
we're
awesome.
talking for a little bit. I think my favorite part of the weekend.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of little snippets. Like I've got one where I was talking to some people and Tina brought me pizza. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
I was absolutely starving.
Same thing happened to me because she forgot that she had pizza and she forgot I existed because I'd just been running around everywhere. So I got home, I got into the back and you and Tina were there and just that you guys were talking. I was like, hey, did you get to eat? Because I was trying to check up on you before I did. Before I went anywhere. And you're like, yeah, I had pizza. And I was like, wait, there was pizza? And she's like, I'm so sorry. I forgot. And I should have got you some. And then like probably 20 minutes later, I was working on the stream panel. And she comes, I was in the hallway and she comes from nowhere with a box of pizza. Like, I found some extra.
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
you're the best. I still haven't eaten.
Yeah.
But that was nice. So
Yeah,
carry on.
Thanks
Sorry.
for stealing my thunder.
No problem. That's what I mean.
No, I'm totally lost. So yeah, there was the pizza, the kickoff party. Once we finally got there, it took us forever to get there. It took us from 10 to 7 at night to set up for the expo.
Yeah.
We did it last year in 2 hours.
Like, I don't even know how we did it.
Yeah. So I ended up being late and I got there. And just being at the expo and seeing people like mingle. Like I know we talked before about people interacting. We generally, video gamers tend to be a more introverted crowd, not as outgoing, but it seemed like everybody there was mixing with everybody else. And like, I didn't know 70% of those people. They were just brand new or whatever, like a bunch of new faces. I talked to one guy who he knew about it because of Bonfireside Chat. Like both him and I listened to the same podcast and I asked the podcast guys to come and do a thing.
That was really cool too. That was like probably the second biggest panel. Like people were lined up all the way out, like down the hallway.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that was one of them. First meeting Grant Kirkhope was really cool because I was like super nervous and he was just such a personable, engaging guy.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
And then the planetarium concert I thought was really cool. There's just a whole bunch of moments, but I think like all in all, I think my favorite part was just like that it existed and that people had a wonderful time and got to show their games. We got, we're getting Facebook posts and emails and stuff about who was it that said like they'd played 90 sessions of their game. I can't remember. Somebody sent us that they were like, we're super excited. All in all, people played our game 90 times for like an average time of like 25 minutes.
I know.
Wow.
I know Liminal, who set up their demo of they had like an RPG. I didn't actually get to sit down and play it. I felt terrible because I saw their booth a couple times. It looked awesome. Like their game just looked really good. But they said that they had like a 45-minute demo.
Were they on like the far wall?
They were on
like with Mountain Dew.
They were on the wall with Mountain Dew next to like the Able Gamers.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name because it's like a
Veyvantoul.
Yeah, Von Tool or something.
Von
like
Tool or
that.
something.
I talked to Bill about that name because I was like, how do you pronounce that? But yeah.
Yeah, but they had a really cool game, and he was talking to me afterwards because after we got off stage in the picture and all of that kind of stuff, he was just like, okay, cool. So you're Cody. I'm happy that I finally get to meet you. Like, thank you so much for having us. Thanks. He gave this sentiment of like, thanks for being thanks for taking a chance on us. Like nobody's done that before. But I was chatting. He's like, yeah, we had like a 45-minute demo that we were like, nobody's gonna beat it. Whatever. They're just gonna play it for a while, walk off, or restart it. And he said that like almost everybody sat down and beat their demo, because they just couldn't stop. So it might have been the same people.
Okay.
But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, but I just think it's just a bunch of positivity in sort of the internet swarm of nonsense and criticism and negativity. Everybody seems super excited. Like people are glad to be there, glad to play games and interact with each other. And yeah, I think that's...
And they were patient with me,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Yeah, we only had a few people that I kind of had to put the hammer down a little bit on. And one of them was like a 65-year-old guy. He was just being a dick.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I just like, he came to support his son and somehow like he acted like that was a giant inconvenience for him. And I was just like, hey man, you and your son, you need to have a moment. Because like, if the worst thing in your life is having to come to COSI to see your son's work,
Well, you never know what's going on in his life. He
You
might have
don't.
been having a hard time
you
I
don't.
mean, he had already been to a bunch of other like game expos that day.
that day.
Another one.
Yeah, it might have been a rough day. I don't know. But anyway, he was rude, but we got him situated. So didn't have to kick anyone out. So that's good.
Situated right to
I don't
the
think
curb.
we've ever had to kick anyone out.
I don't think we had any thefts or missing items or anything like that come
Yeah.
up. No.
Wait, we need to have a moment of silence though, because Chris can't find his
I can't
Vita.
find my Vita, but I think that's my fault.
Oh,
I'm gonna-
was that there?
I don't know. I honestly don't remember where I put it.
It's okay.
Well,
I
that's
don't think I brought it to the expo.
Can we put out some milk ads?
for the Vita.
Literally, I love having you on this podcast. This is the best.
If anybody finds a Vita with a taped note on it that says "You look cute even when you're pooping," that's mine. That one's mine.
Well,
Courtesy of Tina Unger. All right. Well, I think that's been episode 62.
Thanks, everybody.
The weekly Multivarious Games podcast.
I think we have our title.
Yeah. As always, you can find us on the web at multivariousgames.com. You can find us on Facebook at Multivarious Games, and you can find us on Twitter at Multivarious. You can find me personally on Twitter at C_Volpe. You can find Cody at Cody Was Here.
Hashtag no more underscore.
With was being WUZ. Laura Lee, do you twits?
I don't do any
Laura
of that.
Lee's-
Mr. Jake Donovan.
Mr. Jake Donovan, yeah.
Have you posted any tweets and do you tweet?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm about to jump back in.
You're like,
doing more.
I gotta put my toe in the water a little bit.
Yeah, I dabble.
I dabble. You can always email us at WMVG at Multivarious Games, where you can send us stuff about things. There's Shannon. As with every episode, starting with the last episode and continuing this episode, I think we're gonna end with a song.
Are we?
Oh,
Also, but before we do that, what you playing?
This is the song that never ends.
Laura Lee, what are you playing?
Fatal Frame 5. It's awesome.
Are you
Awesome.
happy?
I'm happy.
Jacob?
I don't think I'm playing anything. Well, Undertale now.
Baby just saw our friend.
Now that the expo's over, I'm gonna start playing that.
Undertale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody?
It's a mixture of things right now. So I'm playing through Halo 5 with just the multiplayer. That's my go-to. Hey, my best friend's online. Let's play. I played a little bit of GTA yesterday, which was refreshing because I missed GTA a lot, and I was waiting for Fallout. And then I got Fallout yesterday and got to play it for all of about 10 minutes, and it killed me on the inside. But hopefully we'll get more time soon.
Yeah, I might play it a little bit tonight. Or I might just pass out. We'll see.
I might try. And then finally, still trucking on that Persona. So it was great. So super foggy. Yeah. It was super foggy this morning. And I walk in, and Guan Chao's just like, so what'd you think of that fog? And I was like, dude, I've been playing way too much Persona 4 because I wanted to check my TV last night. And he just bust out laughing.
Yeah, he made a joke this morning. He's like, somebody's going to be dead on a phone pole tonight.
Yeah.
Persona.
Persona humor.
Sweet.
Guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be
Thanks,
rocking.
everybody.
I'm going to be rocking some Fallout
Yeah.
if I have any energy tonight. And then once I can find my Vita, I'm going to get back on the Persona train.
It's like in the
platinum it.
bathroom at Code Center.
It's locked away.
I know I didn't touch it all weekend. I don't think I took it out at the hotel. So it's got to be either in my car or my house.
It's locked away on my desk so that you can't get the platinum before I do.
Yeah. Baby's going to be playing Chew on the little blue toy. That's her favorite. She's going to sneeze too. She likes her little blue toy. So, but yeah, we're going to end with a song. I think this week's song is going to be from our very own Phil. So we're going to grab a song from him and play it. So yeah, enjoy, and we will see you next week.
Get ready for the song. I missed last week, so I didn't know that was happening.